Hi, I'm Sung Kim, the United States Ambassador to Indonesia. As our Muslim friends in Indonesia begin a period of fasting and prayer at the start of Ramadan, I would like to convey my warmest wishes to all those observing this month. The spirit of Ramadan always reminds me of our shared values of generosity and gratitude, and I'm filled with appreciation when I consider the millions of people in the United States and in Indonesia who have joined together across oceans and borders to celebrate the same holiday. From Indonesian exchange students gathered in New York City breaking fast and praying together, to various iftars with the international community in Jakarta, this holy month is a reason to bring people together in the spirit of hope and positivity for the future. From all of us at U.S. Embassy Jakarta and our consulates in Surabaya and Medan, have a blessed and happy Ramadan. Selamat berpuasa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, I would like to test everyone's enthusiasm today. First of all, my name is Sarah Wayne, and it is always a pleasure meeting you all here at America at Pacific Place, a place where we can all learn together about the United States and more. So, as I said before, I would like to test everyone's enthusiasm because it is Ramadan and many of us are fasting. So, usually at this time during the day, we tend to get a little bit sleepy, but I'm sure that's not the case for today. So, can I have a big round of applause? First of all, to begin our event. All right, today we will learn how to cook, especially, and you are in for literally a treat. But before we start this event, please do allow me to welcome and introduce to you, although he needs no introduction, everyone, to come up onto the stage to give his opening remarks for us today. Please give our applause for His Excellency Ambassador Sung Kim.
Good afternoon, Selamat sore. Great. Thank you so much for joining us. We're actually celebrating three wonderful things this afternoon. Special American agricultural products, our National Arab American Heritage Month, and of course the holy month of Ramadan. I want to welcome all of you here today, importers, distributors, culinary students, journalists, as well as all of our friends joining us virtually for this very special event. Also want to thank Pak Kafi and Pak Leonard from Pika Consult Inc., as well as Ibu Wanda, the country representative of USAID PLC, for sponsoring this event. And of course, special welcome and thanks to our two very important guests, Chef Shayna from California, and the embassy's own David Eunice, who will be teaching us and preparing great food for us. I'm very excited. April is, as I mentioned, the National Arab American Heritage Month. And when you think about the Arab American community in the United States, it really is the story of America. Their diverse backgrounds and faiths, hard work, dedication, patriotism. So I'm really thrilled that we're actually celebrating the Arab American Heritage Month together with all of you. And it's even more special because it coincides with Ramadan. And that's why we focus on three agricultural products that are quite relevant to both the Arab American community, but also Indonesian cuisine. Arizona dates, California raisins, and chickpeas from different parts of the United States. Three fabulous ingredients, and I know that our chefs will make amazing dishes out of them. But in addition to enjoying the great U.S. agriculture products, I hope you will actually spend some time to learn about the amazing diversity that we enjoy in the United States. And I actually think this is something that we share with Indonesia. So please visit embassy websites and all of the information that's available through Ad America to learn more about the United States. So thank you all again for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you, Ambassador. And now, everyone, we will continue to the main event. But before we start, as mentioned before, who here's love dates? Majul dates? Okay, so your raise of hands. Who loves raisins? Another raise of hands. And next, who loves chickpeas? Another raise of hands. But who here knows how to cook them or probably make delicious desserts with them or delicious dishes? Oh, okay. Well, only the chefs raise their hands. So without further ado, we will begin and we'll, ask them how can actually we can cook these dates and these chickpeas and these raisins to make scrumptious dishes, especially for Ramadan. So without further ado, please do allow me to introduce to you our first chef of the day to come up onto the stage, Chef Shayna. Welcome, Chef Shayna.
Thank you. Salamat Saleh.
Selamat sore.
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 Yes.
Well, very perfect. Just a little bit more.
Just tweak it a little.
Okay. Now, before you start cooking, I would like to introduce to you, to all the audience here at America. You can say hi. Please give a round of applause, everyone, to Chef Shayna. And before I pass on the microphone to Chef Shayna for her to start delivering her recipe for us, please do allow me to read a little biography of Chef Shayna so we can also get to know Chef Shayna a little bit more. Chef Shayna is the sales director of Natural Delights International, and she is very passionate about cooking healthy meals. And she's also host of a weekly cooking segment on ABC 30's morning show, and the author of Food for You, a book that inspires tweens and teenagers to have good eating habits and promotes confidence, self-esteem, and well-being. So, Chef, what are we cooking today, please?
Today we're going to make a simple stuffed date recipe.
Okay, how simple?
Very simple. I
Very
think you could
simple,
do it.
because I can't cook.
It's very simple, I promise. You can. Just a couple of steps. So Majul dates, these are from North America.
Yes.
These are our larger dates. And of course, you can eat them whole without doing anything. But if you just add a couple of steps, you can make a delicious treat for yourself.
Okay, wow. So
Should
what
I
are the
begin?
Please do.
Okay, all right. So first you're going to take a date, and dates have pits, so you want to slice open the date just very carefully and take out the pit and discard. And then for this recipe, we are going to use cashews. You could use almonds, pistachios, all from the US as well, and just simply chop them.
Okay.
And we're going to fill the dates with the cashews. So this adds a little bit of protein. Dates are known for having a lot of fiber. They're very good to eat every day. But then if you add a little bit of nuts, you have the protein. So it makes a perfect meal, if you will. I eat them every morning.
You eat them every morning.
Every morning.
And this is interesting because today we are still in the month of Ramadan, and dates are a very famous, fruit for the month of Ramadan.
Correct.
But it's also a perfect fruit to eat all year long.
All year round. So they're great to eat for energy, right? Sustainable energy. It's low on the glycemic index, so it's not going to raise your blood sugar. So sustained energy for the day. And yeah, you can snack on them anytime.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
So we've stuffed them with the cashews, and today I've melted some chocolate. And you're simply going to dip it in the chocolate and give it a nice little swirl in there.
Okay, so that's melted chocolate.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a double broiler here, and you plate it.
Are you guys hungry over there? Because I heard some,
You could do lots of different fillings.
Mm-hmm.
Peanut butter is very popular in the United States. I don't know so much here in Indonesia.
Well,
Peanut
can
butter?
we hear? Okay, we see a nod.
Yes.
How many here are fans of peanut butter? Can you please, give a round of applause for
Okay.
peanut butter? You see,
Okay.
raise of hands.
All
There
right,
you go.
so stuff it with peanut butter,
You could use peanut butter as well.
chocolate. It kind of tastes like a Snickers bar. I don't know if that's popular here, but a little bit of sea salt, and it makes a nice dessert as well.
Okay, there we go.
And for stuffings, you could do sweet like we've done. You could also do savory. So if you wanted to use cream cheese, mascarpone cheese, different flavors as well.
Okay, wow. This is a perfect dish, especially for, Ramadan, where we usually look for sweets to break our fast.
Yes.
So especially if you also use a savory combination, you get that sweet and salty flavor
Correct.
in one bite.
Yes, exactly. So as you can see, this is very easy to do. I promise you could do this at home as well. If you want to take it a step further, you could chop pistachios and sprinkle it on top.
Okay.
Rose petals would make for a pop of color. Get creative with it and have fun.
Wow.
Yes. And I think we were going to show a video a little bit about how we harvest our dates from North America. And you can see they're grown with love. There's a lot of steps that go into preparing a date palm tree for growing dates and harvesting dates.
Oh, so here we go. Because probably many of us have seen a date tree, but we do not know how to harvest dates yet. So you can see right here. Here's the video.
So lots of steps are required, from pollinating. This is dethorning, so we take the thorns off so it's safe for our workers to go up into the trees. Am I blocking?
I'll step aside right here.
And this is all located in Bard Valley, Arizona. So Arizona is a very special growing region for dates from North America. There are dates grown in Coachella Valley as well. Bard Valley, Arizona is very special because it has water.
Okay.
We know California struggles with water. We're located along the Colorado River, and so the legend is that there's water underground, a river underground that gives us our water to support our date trees. Because it's a desert, we don't get much rain.
Right.
So that's what's special about our dates.
And it's really special because everyone here also is very famous. I mean, American Dates here in Indonesia. And of course, it's an honor for us here to celebrate the American Dates here, especially in Ramadan, where we use dates on a daily basis almost. And then, of course, chickpeas for the food and also the raisins as well.
Correct, yes. So here you can see they're thinning the dates off the strands. This allows for our dates to grow to be the large dates that we're known for growing.
Yes.
So that's one of the steps that you're seeing here in the video. We bag our dates to prevent any pests, birds, keep everything out to keep our dates safe while they're starting to harvest and grow.
And there are a number of dates variety, right?
Correct.
For the medjool dates particularly, what is the most unique or special feature of a medjool date?
Yes, so medjool date is like the king of dates. It's the biggest in size. It's chewy and caramely, and it presents a very nice color. But medjools are known for being large,
Right.
so it's almost a meal in and of itself, right?
And that's perfect for you to insert all those, ingredients in, and then to cook with as well.
Correct. And again, you can eat them by themselves. That's perfect, but it's fun to cook with them. And I throw dates into smoothies. I chop them up and put them on salads, cook them down to make a jam. Many different applications, not just eating a raw date.
Okay. So, right here, this is how
Where are we now? So,
sorting the dates.
Yes. So we are very meticulous in our grading and sorting. So we sort out any dates that might not meet our standards. Our quality control is very important to us, and I think that's what sets us apart from other producers of dates. So here they're sorting them.
How do you choose a good quality date?
Good question. So we look for a couple different characteristics. Size, we look for moisture level, and then for the skin. So we want the skin to be intact. We want it to present very well. If there's any problems on the skin, then we'll take them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this
and
is the
here
packing
they're
process?
packing them.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So this is our consumer pack here, and very popular in.
And it's right here on the table as well?
Correct. And this is what you'll see in most of the markets here in Indonesia. And these are our best-selling products here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone here knows about medjool dates, right? Yes.
Are we a fan of medjool
okay. And you can taste this, but later on.
Yes.
When
everyone will get to sample,
yes,
I believe.
But later, when the breakfasting time or iftar time has come. All right, so who here now probably has the confidence to make, what do you call this dish, chef?
It's a stuffed date.
Stuffed date. Who will be cooking or making stuffed date at home after this?
You guys can do it, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Give a big round of applause for stuffed dates, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. Chef Shayna, please do take a seat up here on stage,
Oh,
Chef,
sorry.
because I'm sure here probably some of you would like to ask our proposed questions to Chef Shayna. So, but after this, because we have next a very, very special chef as well, who will be sharing with us a very special dish this Ramadan. So, without further ado, everyone, please give a applause for David Younes onto the stage. Welcome, Chef David. May I call you Chef David?
Thank you. Yes, this is my first time being a celebrity chef, so I'm trying to meet the moment here.
Okay, well, I think I'm making history right here because this is the beginning of your pinnacle of your career as a chef,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Because here, probably we like to give everyone just the context why we say this is a very special moment and I'm making history right here because David here is actually a political officer at the U.S. Embassy, Jakarta, right,
Correct.
Chef
Yes.
David? Okay, so without further ado, Chef, what will you be sharing with us today? What dish will you be sharing with us?
So this is special because this is for the first time on broadcast. This is my grandmother's hummus recipe. So far, this is the first time it's ever been demonstrated in Indonesia, so you are all making history right here and right now. And I'm going to do my absolute best because I believe my grandmother is tuning in from Beirut, Lebanon. So if I do it badly, I'm going to be in deep trouble.
Would you like to say hi to your grandmother?
Hi, Grandma.
Say hi, wave to the camera. There we go.
Je t'aime.
All right then, Chef. So, please do. Let's start.
All right, so to start with, I did the boring part at home, which is to soak the chickpeas in water overnight, drain them, rinse them off, and then boil them at a medium heat until they are not quite like mush, but till they're soft and squishy, which is how they are now.
Okay, are there three different, what are these, Chef?
So here are these are lentils, these are the chickpeas.
Okay, there we go.
So they start out like this. I recommend using the raw chickpeas because, well, for starters, you can get more bang for your buck. You can use the canned chickpeas. There's no law against it, and I promise my grandmother won't be mad. All options are good, but for this demonstration, I decided to go with the raw chickpeas and then soak and boil.
Okay.
So,
can I help? Can I be help in any way?
well, what we're going to do next is I'm going to prepare the other ingredients, and I think what's great about hummus is that even I can do it.
Okay.
And also, gentlemen out there, if you're looking to impress someone special, yes, there you go.
There's a yes.
This is a great way to do it. The ingredients are all things that you can get at a grocery store, including the chickpeas. So you can get them at a variety of supermarkets here in Indonesia. Definitely look for the ones from the United States. They are cleaner, they are bigger, they have incredible nutritional value. They've got a lot of protein, a lot of fiber. So here we go. What I'm going to do first is prepare the lemons. And so really, you only need 2 lemons to make this dish. So I'm just going to slice this thing in half.
Okay, and then you juice the lemon. All.
Exactly. Everyone with me so far? This is pretty easy, right?
They're taking notes, I guess.
Yeah.
But for the chickpeas itself, Chef,
Yes.
how nutritious are they?
Exceptionally. They're a great source of protein in case you want to not be hungry, but
Yep.
also in case you might want to hit the gym later on.
Yep.
Of course, that's an option. And the fiber is great for digestive health as well.
Okay.
So these little guys are incredible for your health, and they're also delicious. So it's really a pretty potent combination.
And the chickpeas from the U.S. are exceptional in quality, right?
They really kind of tick all the boxes. Great quality, they're delicious, and they're nutritious. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
So that's a perfect combination. All right.
All right.
And for hummus itself, since we are in the month of April, and as we all know as well, as mentioned before, that we are celebrating or commemorating Arab American Heritage National Month.
Yes.
Right. Can you please tell more about that for us here in Indonesia?
So for people like me who are from the United States but have relatives or family members from the Middle East, so as I mentioned, my grandmother is from Lebanon. My dad came to the United States as an immigrant. 5 years ago, he became an American citizen, but he's still very much Lebanese. So at least for me, and I don't want to speak for other people or tell people how to celebrate, but for me, Arab American Heritage Month is a great opportunity to show what makes people from my community, Lebanese Americans or people from across the Middle East, special, but also part of the larger American community. Because I think as everyone knows, the United States has people from all over the
Yes.
place, and diversity is our strength. And being Arab American, being Lebanese American is great because you get to be part of that whole
Right.
without losing your identity.
All right. Can you give a round of applause, everyone? You're not done cooking yet, chef. You
Oh,
gotta
no,
show
no,
your
no.
You gotta show your grandmother here.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
You can take a bow.
So yes, the bow will come later.
Yes.
The next part is the garlic.
Okay.
So this is, of course, to taste. Some people go pretty hard on the garlic. I go reasonably. The next part, you just kind of use this roller to help remove the peel,
Oh, that's interesting.
right?
That's an interesting roller. You see how very, very unskilled I am in this field of cooking.
I only realized that we had this in our kitchen very recently.
Oh.
This was a surprise to me when my wife saw me laboring over things. She was like, we've got this thing, right? And I thought it was just something someone had left in a drawer, but it turns out to be quite useful.
Okay.
So as we go here, I'm going to toss the garlic in there.
And for Ramadan in the U.S. Itself, Chef David, what dishes or what celebration or tradition is famous in the U.S.?
Well, I know that, so I should say that my family is Christian, but in sort of hanging out with a lot of Muslims in the United States, I know that dishes like hummus, baba ganoush, like these are popular throughout the year. But
Okay.
I can't speak to exactly what other people do. My understanding, though, is that it depends a lot on your family tradition, where you might be from.
But then again, yes, the U.S. is a melting pot. Everyone can throw in their tradition, and then the togetherness is what makes it special.
Precisely.
Right. Okay.
We're nearing completion on this garlic.
So that was 3 cloves of garlic.
I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be 4.
Okay.
So be forewarned. No pun intended.
That's why you have your ruler, right? Need help, Chef?
I think I got it. I think
Okay,
I got
there we
it.
go.
Yeah. This garlic did not want to be part of the dish, but you know what? Garlic doesn't get a vote. There we go. All right. And we're in business. Okay. Boom. We're already dealing with the hardest part. So now that that's done, you got the garlic,
Okay.
you got the lemon juice, just pour it on in. Just like that. Just a little bit of wrist action. Get that juice in there. Next, you put this thing on. And you don't, to be fair, you do not need to use this, but it does make things go faster.
Okay. If you don't use this, what do you use?
You can grind it together.
Okay.
The whole point of it is just to get the garlic from these chunks to very, very small pieces and mix it together with the lemon. At this point, you can also add salt in order to make this as healthy as possible. I don't really use salt, but again, my grandmother's not going to be mad if you do. Boom. It looks pretty well mixed.
Okay.
We're going to let it sit for just a minute, and I will try to tidy up a little bit here so that they invite me back to America.
Where did you start learning how to cook hummus?
I guess I, in some ways, started as soon as I realized that it was delicious and I loved eating it. And as a sort of incurably curious person, I asked, how do I make that?
Right.
Can I make that? And my grandmother and people in my family and my community have always been really exceedingly patient about answering all of my questions. So using this recipe that my grandmother taught me, I've been making this for quite some time now.
Okay. How important do you think especially the young people here in Jakarta, of course, we have probably parents, grandparents from other areas in
Sure.
Indonesia. We have our own traditional food, traditional drinks that we probably do not know how to make them. How do you think we can start, or probably how important is it for us to actually learn how to cook traditional dishes like your family's recipe?
I think it's important, like as we all go about our day, we do a thing, right? Like we go to work, we are what we are, whatever position we are at work. I think it's important for all of us to try things that are outside of our normal routine. And for me, as a diplomat, I do diplomatic things during my day, but it's nice to be able to practice something that has nothing to do with my day-to-day job. And I think cooking can really be part of that as a way to focus on the ingredients, cutting them up, preparing them, and then making something that you can share with friends and family. And I think traditional recipes are a perfect part of that.
Yes, agree. And hopefully, this month of Ramadan, we still have time. It's also the month of togetherness, where we spend more time with families. And I think the best way is to spend it in the kitchen, right, Chef?
Absolutely.
And of course, at the dinner table to eat together.
I was
as
going to
well.
say, like, huddle around something delicious, which
Mhm.
I think we're going to be enjoying something like that very soon. So just to give you guys a little bit of context, this is how many chickpeas, like this volume, came from about 400 grams, about half a kilo. So you get a lot of chickpeas if you soak them and prepare them that way.
Okay.
All right, so again, just a little bit of wrist action. You just need hands for this. You just sort of scoot this on in. Yeah. Don't even need to use your right hand. If you're left-handed, that works too. You can also sprinkle them on the floor, as I just did, but that's not advisable. There we go.
So you let this sit in the fridge for overnight.
Yeah, so what you do is you just take a bowl or really anything that can hold water.
Right.
You put the chickpeas in. You put water in so that it's a little bit more than the chickpeas, about twice as much.
Boiling water or just normal
regular water, and let it sit. And then the water and the chickpeas figure out what they need to do with each other.
Oh, okay. We
So-
just give room for them to do whatever they.
It is as though they already knew what they were supposed to do,
Alright.
and they followed instructions. So then, boom.
So we're almost done here.
Yes, we are nearing completion. Again, this is a super easy dish, and here is the trick. Once we get close, when all the chickpeas and everything has been, let me get these delicious
put this
ingredients
aside.
out of the way. Once we start to get everything mixed together, that's where the ice water comes in.
Oh, there's also ice water.
Yeah, the
Okay.
ice water is the trick to making it really smooth. So I'm gonna pause.
Mhm.
I'm gonna add the other ingredients here, which is tahini, which you can get this at most grocery stores.
Okay.
It is sesame seed paste. So 1 scoop is probably enough, but I'll just add a little bit here. There we go. And then you add cumin or paprika to taste. Make sure my hands are dry. All right, I'm going to try this. I've seen it on other cooking shows. Is this what people do?
There we go.
Yeah, I think this is
That's the magic in it.
yeah, this is very professional,
Okay.
extremely professional.
Please give a round of applause, everyone.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
So I guess that's really the start of your career switch right there.
You know, I've been waiting for this moment. My life has been building to this point. There we
Okay,
go.
and what are we waiting here right now? Until it's all blended, or
Yeah, we're just waiting until it's all blended. I'm gonna.
is there a certain texture that we have to keep?
Legally speaking, there's no specific texture. I find that it's just better if it's smooth. I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
help the process along a little bit by breaking up that piece of tahini.
Mhm.
There we go. And I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure here because I know everyone is super hungry and they're probably thinking like, how much of this can I eat? Am I even allowed to just start eating it with my hands? Like there we go. All right. So right now it's taste is there. Texture is a little bit not as creamy as I would like.
Mhm.
So I just drop a little bit of water in there.
All
bit
right.
more.
And as we wait for the chickpeas to blend, Chef, and everyone here, probably I would like to read a little fun fact about chickpeas, about the U.S. chickpeas to be exact, where the 5,000 growers, processors, exporters, and associates presented by the USA Dry Pea and Lentil Council, or the DPLC, take pride in their ability to produce the highest quality of dry peas, lentils, and chickpeas for the national and also international markets, where US dry peas, lentils, and chickpeas earn the standard of quality seal every day. So the standard quality seal, is this the standard quality seal, or how can we see or read or find the standard quality seal if we're raiding through the supermarket?
So I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure about seals, but if it's a product of the United States and you see this this logo, you know for sure it is. But there may be other emblems or designs as well. But
Okay.
USA Pulses is where it's at.
Okay, there we go.
Clarification: these are green lentils. These are not chickpeas, though. Do not be confused. So
Here are the chickpeas.
that is correct. That is correct. So we have reached the point where we are just going to scoop it out. It should be nice and smooth like that.
Mm. And if we cook this, for example, if you want to keep them in the fridge, how many days can they last?
I'd say about a week.
About a week,
Yeah.
okay.
The risk is that if you don't cover it well, the hummus can start to get hard, and then that's kind of the opposite of what you're going
But
for.
if you use, like a box like this with this lid,
Yeah.
it can last up until a week.
Yes.
Okay.
And it helps to use like the best ingredients, best chickpeas.
Yep.
I don't really know what goes into being the best lemons, but these look very, to be handsome lemons. So here we go. And then I'm not going to do the hand thing with the olive oil because that seems like it would be too messy. But
for the olive oil, that means you sprinkle or, the olive oil once you're about to eat the hummus.
yes.
Or,
So you would just pour a little bit in the middle.
okay.
And then I'm going to risk turning it over. So there we go.
Okay, can we zoom in on that?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, can we big round of applause? There we go.
Yeah.
I'll probably show it to the camera. Something you have to, probably you want to say something to your grandmother who
I would
probably
say,
was watching.
Grandma, I hope I did this right. I one way or the other, I think I'll be hearing about it. But I'd say, yeah, check your watch. It's hummus time. Right there.
Okay, there we go. Got the hummus down, and there's still more where that came from, so you'll be having the opportunity to taste them after this, right, Chef?
I even made some last night just to make sure that we get as much hummus into people as possible. So there should be quite a bit of hummus. I hope you guys
Okay.
like it.
Okay, you see, they all give a big round of applause. Now, there you go. Thank you, Chef David, for cooking the hummus, and please do also take a seat right here, because
Thank you.
next, everyone who is joining us here in the studio, and also those of you who are joining us online, I would like to invite everyone to please join in for the discussion, for the question and answer session. So if you have a question you'd like to propose to our chefs about anything, right, Chef, regarding cooking or anything about, let's say, the U.S. Arab National History Month, we can also talk about anything as well, right?
We are open cookbooks.
Open cookbooks, there you go. So anyone who'd like to propose a question? Oh, there we go. We have one right here. Please do tell us your name, and please stand up so we can see you.
Okay, hello. My name is Amira, and I have a question for Chef David. So my question is regarding the hummus. Which food or perhaps which assorted is best suited to eat with the hummus? And second, you say that you say the hummus can last for a week. And my question is, how do we know that the hummus is no longer good to eat, or is there a way that we know the hummus has gone bad? Thank you.
Thank you, Amira. Please give her an applause for Amira. There you go, Chef David.
Those are two top shelf questions, Amira. Thank you.
So hummus is incredibly flexible. You can eat it with sliced vegetables like peppers or cucumbers. You can eat it with bread. I'm not going to sit here and judge anyone if they do something other than those. So be creative and find other ways to use to enjoy hummus. But right off the bat, I would say the first two, sliced vegetables and then bread. I would say the easiest way to determine if your hummus has gone bad is if it smells bad. And maybe that's, I don't know if that's official like chef technology here, but I'm gonna say if it doesn't pass the smell test, like quickly smell it. If it smells delicious and fulfilling, then go for it. But if it smells a little funky, I would err on the side of caution.
Okay. Anything you'd like to add?
That's great
Chef
advice.
Shayna? Especially.
Store it in the fridge.
Yes.
That's important.
Definitely the fridge.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Thank you, Amira. And next, are there any other questions? Probably from that side. If there's no questions from the ones here in the studio, probably, let's see, are there any questions online? But before we go to the online questions, probably, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the audience regarding probably food or probably chickpeas or dates? Because visual dates, especially US visual dates, are very famous here in Indonesia.
Well, yes, I would like to hear about the impression of U.S. dates here in Indonesia. So if anybody wants to share, that would be wonderful. Okay.
Oh, please, there we go. Don't forget, please also state your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian.
Hello, Brian.
I'm from STP Trisakti. I'm from hospitality. My first thing when I see America is cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Yes.
Hollywood. We know that Hollywood movie is the best movie. We know Avenger, DC, Marvel. Yeah, that's Indonesian thing we like. Even when I see America, we know that America cheese is the best cheese in the world.
You're right.
America. And we saw when we say, oh, America, oil, everybody. Why? I say, why many oil? Why?
Oil.
What kind of oil are you asking about?
I'm asking
Tanning
the
oil, cooking oil,
of the,
petroleum.
yeah, the
You have many
control.
oils.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also when I see America, I see like thinking Texas because my uncle was living in Texas for 20 years.
Okay.
And I wish I can go to Texas to learn making good stick, you know.
Oh, okay. What about the visual dates from America?
When I see America, no, just kidding. Just be honest, I respect America.
Yes.
I respect them, but also sometimes I hate them, but I love them. You know what I mean?
The dates, okay. You love the dates. And do you think you could be cooking these dates or making them when you get home to show to give your parents or probably your brothers, sisters, or your friends?
I'll be honest, my family will not love it.
Oh.
Because my family,
What about your friends? Will your friends love them?
you will love it.
Yes.
You want?
Right. You see, so I guess that's why you have to cook them for your friends at home later on. Okay.
Yeah.
So remember to ask Brian to cook the visual dates for you. Okay.
Let's
Okay,
make fried rice, okay?
Thank you very much, Brian. Okay, give a round of applause for Brian. Probably we have one from this side, probably from that side. Ya, kalau mau pakai bahasa Indonesia juga nggak apa-apa. Nanti kita bisa bantu translate. Oh, sebelah sini ada, sebelah sini juga. Oh, oke. Dari sebelah sini dulu ya.
Hello.
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 You know, I know dates, fruits. It's because I'm Indonesian, and long time ago I was once in New York City, and then maybe it's just I'm the one that not pay attention, so I couldn't see any dates, fruits there. But my question here is it always sweet? I mean, can you make it spicy, salted, anything that is just not sweets? Because I like dates, fruits, but then it's just like one, and I think let's just just one is sugar, but it's delicious. But
Yes.
then just one.
Okay. Okay.
That's a great question.
Okay. What's your name? So we can.
My name is June, and thank you for this opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, June. Oh, there you go. Can we, mix the dates up?
Yes,
with-
certainly. So, of course, you can eat them by themselves. Very sweet, I understand. But you can mix them to make it a sweet or even a sour or savory dish as well. Right now, we're actually developing a product with chili-infused dates. So we're drying out the
Wow,
dates. We're
that's
making
interesting.
strips, and then we're putting chili powder on them with a little bit of lime. So it's a little tart
Interesting, yes,
and
yeah.
and savory more than sweet. I like to cook with it in stir fry as well, so I have a little bite of sweet, but in a savory dish with vegetables and some chicken noodles as well. So certainly you can make it a savory. Chopped dates are really good, so you just get that little touch of sweet, but it's not overwhelmingly sweet as well.
Please, please.
When is that product gonna drop? Because you had me at spicy with a little bit of lime.
It's coming soon. Coming to Indonesia. I don't know when, but coming soon. We'll work on
Coming
that
soon.
for you.
Okay,
That's what's up.
So we'll be waiting for that. And the key is creativity, right? Get creative with the dates.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that question. And next, there was also a question from this side. Please give a round of applause for June. Thank you, June, for the question. Silakan.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
My name
afternoon.
is Grace. I'm from Froyonion Media. I have one question for Miss Sarah and Mr. David. So first, to Miss Sarah, do you have any other easy healthy meals recipe that you can share to us that can be able to cook by anyone who doesn't have any talents in cooking like me, for example? And for Mr. David, a more serious question maybe. Speaking of your hobby to cook and your career in diplomacy, in your opinion, how important is food diplomacy, especially between America and Indonesia? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I guess the question was addressed to Chef Shayna, and because I'm Sarah, and I also can speak on your behalf because I don't have any ability or any talent to cook. What other recipes?
Certainly. So I have spent 10 years teaching children to cook. So I promise if kids can cook, you can cook too. And to me, it's just about being basic and learning about food and trying it and not being afraid to get in the kitchen and get your hands dirty. Start simple. Start with food that you don't have to cook per se. The hummus dish is perfect. That's one of my starting recipes that I do when I have kids in the kitchen. But salads, vegetables, you guys have such beautiful fruit here. So fruit salads with trying different spices. There's so many dishes, I don't even know where to begin, but just start slowly, and maybe if you make it a habit, try one new recipe a week, or even online. There's so many recipes, and I mean, TikTok and Instagram, you can go online and find so many recipes. So the reason I picked this recipe with dates is it's very, very simple. With the dates, making a smoothie in a blender with some fruits and a liquid, a very easy thing to do as well. But I say start very basic, and then you can work up. Knife skills is very important to have. So if you feel very comfortable using a knife, you can go very far. So start just simply cutting, and then you'll build from there. But there's no wrong way. Just get in the kitchen, have fun, be adventurous, and you'll go far with it.
All right, thank you, Chef Shayna. David?
I would say food diplomacy is probably the most delicious kind of diplomacy. If I had my druthers, it would be like 90% of what I do, but there are other ways to interact with each other. I would say that what's really great about food diplomacy is that at a very basic level, we're doing something that we all need to do, which is to ingest nutrients, and we're doing it in a way that shows the creativity of both countries, the traditions, the heritage, so that even if you have never had something really delicious from Indonesia, like nasi goreng, you don't need to know a lot about Indonesia to know that that's delicious. And then from there, it's a great entree into other parts about learning about Indonesia and regional differences and how that dish is prepared. I think it's a great way to break down barriers and sort of in the spirit of this holy month to think about gathering together around shared and common values.
All right, thank you, Chef David, and I hope that answers your question. And next, Please give her an applause. Yes, thank you for the question and the answers. Any other questions from the floor? Before we move on, because we see here there are already a number of questions from our online participants. Oh, there's a question right here.
Good afternoon, Chef. My name is Fieri. I would like to ask a simple question, I guess. We all love cooking and eating, I guess.
Yep.
But what do we hate is cleaning the mess after we cook. So do you have any tips about cleaning the mess, or do you have any tips of recipes that easy to cook and easy to clean?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So have children and make them cook clean for you.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, for that, I like to do meal prep. So I like to, when I go to the market, I will chop onions for a couple days of meals. So then I'm chopping and cleaning it one time, and I have it ready to go for maybe 3 days because I can store it in the refrigerator. And then I like to plan in advance. Because we're all busy, we work, we go to school, we do so many things that it's hard to cook after a long day of work. I did it for a living for 10 years cooking, and I still fall into the trap of not wanting to go home and cook. So I like to plan out what I'm cooking so it's one less thing I have to think about. So if I know Monday night I'm having chicken stir fry, Tuesday night I'm having a big salad, Thursday I'm having tacos. I don't even know if tacos are a thing here, but I like tacos. I chop all my vegetables on Sunday night. I have it all prepped, and I only clean once so that it's easier. I also try to use the least amount of dishes and the least amount of measuring cups and utensils. So recipe books will get very elaborate with all the tools you have to use. Keep it simple, sweetie, is my motto. So those would be some of the tips I have for you on that.
All right. Thank you, Chef. Chef David?
I recognize the irony about discussing cleanup when you see the mess I left over there. But I try to think of cleanup in the kitchen as not a task that I vehemently dislike. I think of it as a way to show my wife how much I appreciate her and how much I love her, because if I'm thinking of that, then it puts the whole activity in a different light, so that she comes into the kitchen, it's not like this leaning tower of dishes and like, a comical little fly buzzing around. She says, oh, it's clean in here. And she can feel relaxed, and she knows that it wasn't the magic dish fairy that waved a wand and cleaned it. It was me, and I was doing it as a way of not just saying I love you, but showing it with my actions. So I try to think of it in that way, because I truly don't like doing dishes, but I truly adore my wife. So it's a way to enact that.
Okay, there we go.
Good answer.
Thank you very much for the question. Okay, before we move on, there was another question, right? But please do allow me to read one question first. That is from our online participant named Dara, who proposed the question through Facebook, and it's for you, Chef David. The question is, how do you usually use hummus in a meal?
How do I use hummus?
In a meal.
Well, there are a lot of ways that I use hummus, not just in a meal, but in general. I can. Hummus is a great snack. So if you're watching, if you have a bunch of guests over and you don't want to make a whole meal, you can have hummus sort of in the middle with cut vegetables or bread. You can have hummus be a part of if you're preparing other Middle Eastern dishes. You can have several dishes around, and hummus is sort of the universal bonding unit that kind of pulls it all together. You can also make it a little bit spicier. There's a lot you can do with it. You can also use it as a healthy snack. For kids, it also means less cleanup, because they can just take a big scoop of it, or they can dip their vegetables in. So there are a lot of great ways, but I would say it depends on the situation you want to use it for.
Okay, thank you. What about you, Chef Shaina, since hummus is also one of your favorite dishes to cook?
It is. So all the same, I like to make a charcuterie board with hummus and a lot of vegetables, olives, and maybe some dates on there as well. Also on a sandwich as a spread. So instead of mayonnaise or anything like that, spread it as the base layer for the sandwich.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to agree with that. So when I was a kid, my mom would make hummus sandwiches, and when you're a kid, you want to fit in and be just like everyone else. And I remember looking at my lunch and thinking oh, I just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like every normal American. And then looking back on it, that kind of thing I really appreciate in retrospect, because she was finding a way to make this part of our larger family just be a normal, regular part, just a sandwich that I was having at lunch. So I think there's a lot of value in that suggestion.
All right, thank you. And please give her applause, everyone. Thank you also, Dara, for posing that question online. And next, do you have your microphone with you? Yes.
Hello, I'm Tony from Ciptaan Kabua. We are fresh fruit importer. And my question is very specific to Ms. China. Okay, you know, Indonesia is one of the biggest dates fruit importer in Southeast Asia, and that makes us, we have plenty of options for the dates. We have kinds of dates. We have Digletnos, we have from Egypt, and so as you say that Majol dates is the king of dates. So what makes the Majol dates so special, and why do consumers have to buy and consume Majol dates from US instead of any other varieties out there? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tony. Please.
Great question. So in trying all varieties of dates, Majul dates has a very special taste and a very special texture, a very caramely taste and a soft and chewy texture to it that is great to eat by itself, but then again, can be used in various recipes as well. Dates from the United States are grown a little differently than they are around the world. We have very strict growing practices, and we make sure that all of our workers are very safe when they harvest the dates. We actually have created a lift that goes around our tree that takes our workers up into the tree. It's almost like a ride. I've gotten to do it. It's very fun. But they're harnessed, they're clipped in. So we harvest dates different than other Majul dates around the world. And we're very strict in our growing practices, the water we use, our methods as well. And our quality can't be beat because, again, we are very particular about the practices and how we treat our land and our workers and everything that goes into the care and love of making dates. And when you watch the video, you can see how many times we go into the tree, how many times we touch the date. It's very much a part of the bigger picture.
All right, I hope that answers your question. Thank you. And next, are there any other questions? Okay, we have one right here. Please give the microphone, and please do stand up.
Hello. My name is Brenda, and I would like to ask a question for Chef Shayna and Chef David. As a chef, I'm sure you've tried a lot of foods from around the world, and when it comes to Indonesian food, we know that Indonesia has some of the tastiest food in the world, like rendang, nasi goreng, and
Confirmed.
yes, other foods. But in my experience, when it comes to Indonesian food, especially from people from the West, when they think about Asian food, they just think about Korean food, Japanese food, and Thai food. Why do you think is Indonesian food is not as popular as other Asian foods? It's quite a pity for me, actually, I think. So what do you think? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. There we go.
That's a great question. So I just enjoyed a very delicious Indonesian lunch where I fell in love with all of the food. And I was thinking the same thing at lunch of how come this is not as...
Do you remember what dish was it?
Oh, what's the vegetable dish that I loved?
Pecel.
Yes.
Pecel.
Yes.
Okay, there we
Very
go.
delicious. The meat dish was incredible. The flavors that you use, the spices that you use are the best that I've had. And in thinking about why it's not in the States, to be honest, I was stumped myself, and maybe you as a diplomat have more answers than I do. And my thought was, how can I bring this home and teach this at home? That was the first thing that came through my head. I started writing down how to make and recipes. So while I don't know why, and maybe David does, I would love to share more in the U.S. Indonesian food. So I agree, it is very tasty.
All right, thank you. And David, please.
I wish I
enlighten us.
had a thoughtful and thorough answer to that question, but I don't think a good one exists. I would say that the lack of familiarity that many Americans have with Indonesian food is really an opportunity. That this Indonesian cuisine across all of the islands is so rich in spices and flavors and textures that it's an incredible opportunity for Indonesia to introduce not just the United States, but the rest of the world to what comes from this country. What do people make? Why is it important? And what can it say about Indonesian culture? So I think at this point, most people are familiar with American cuisine, such as it is. But I envy Indonesia this opportunity to present your country, all the various beautiful cultures and religions and perspectives via the food. So I think it's an incredible opportunity for Indonesia.
All right, thank you. I hope it answers the question as well. Can you give a big round of applause? Thank you very much. Okay, next, are there any other questions? Okay, we have one right here, but before, please do prepare yourself for the question. But I have a question that is also presented from our online participant, from Susie, and it is for Chef David, I think, or probably Chef Shana can also share with us. What are some traditional Middle Eastern dishes that are commonly served during iftar, probably in the U.S.? Because you mentioned during cooking, probably can remind us what kind of food are usually there in the U.S.
So I can say that in the iftars that I've been to in the United States, they are always, I think, focused around this idea of gathering people together, whether you're a Muslim or not, to share in the values of community and togetherness. And so I've had a variety of different foods, things as varied as tacos, which definitely should be a thing here. KFC, like it's just a variety of things. And I think this is sort of reaching the nadir of my perspective with iftar cuisine. I think that there are a variety of things that can come into that or appear on that table. But in my experience, it's been a huge variety of things.
Okay. Chef Shana, do you have anything to add, especially the famous Middle Eastern dishes in the U.S.?
So my experience has been more Lebanese food at a traditional iftar dinner. So hummus, curried chickens, and roasted meats, that kind of thing.
Okay, there we go. Hope that answers your question. Thank you, Susie, for the question online. And next.
So my name is Hugo.
Hello, Hugo.
I want to ask to both of the chef. It's about, do you already try to make a fusion recipe from the America and Indonesia for the major date and hummus? Or to Chef David also is about, do you already try to improve your recipe from your grandmother? Because for me, if my grandmother recipe repeating and repeating again is making boring. So I want to improving. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And there you go. Who would like to answer first?
I can jump in and say that for reasons of my own personal health, I must say my grandmother's recipe is perfect and it cannot possibly be improved. I think that I would be interested in making variations of that recipe. I don't pretend that any of them would be nearly as good as the original, but I would love to try.
But would you dare to cook any fusion dishes between hummus and also the Indonesian dishes?
100%. As you were talking about that, the first thing that popped in my head is how can I make sambal and hummus a thing? I don't even know if that's legal here, but it should be, and I'm excited to try it. Again, not with my grandmother's recipe. It's perfect. So a different version.
Okay, so
fantastic question.
We'll wait for that version. Okay, Chef?
So
Chef
my
Shana.
thought when you said that was combining dates and hummus and making a date hummus. Maybe a dip or a spread.
Interesting.
I don't know, but I'm going to try it when I go home. So thank you for that idea. And yes, Indonesian cuisine with dates, I think, could be a good fusion, using some of the sweet from the dates to pull in, even the peanut sauce, maybe using some date syrup to make the sweet flavor, I think could work really well. Good question.
Okay, thank you very much. Please give a round of applause for Hugo. And next, are there any other questions from our audience here? Okay, we have another one here.
My name is Kendry. I'm from the retail supermarket, from Ranch Market. I'm just curious about how in the American, is it the major dates is it as daily? Because in Indonesia, mostly people only eat dates on Ramadan. after Ramadan, we really hard to sell the dates. So you just want to know if you have an advice for how to sell dates even after the festive is end, because it's become our problem, but it's really opportunity from us to get sales in the Ramadan in dates.
All right, thank you very much. Please give her an applause. Thank you for the question. And Shashena?
Great question. And first and foremost, Ranch Market is beautiful. I got to tour earlier today, and your markets here are lovely. They're almost like an experience in and of themselves. But yes, in the U.S., we eat dates year-round. It's very much known as a healthy snack. So consumption does pick up during Ramadan, but it's an all-day, every-day. It's a superfood, and it's in the States and Australia, very trendy to eat all the time. In the U.S., we sell at the grocery store level a lot of pitted dates. So dates without seeds. During Ramadan, we don't, but during the rest of the year. So it's easy to take and to snack as you go. We also have introduced dates that come in small packaging that sit near the cash register. And so you can pick them up and take them with you. They're individually wrapped and have them as a snack throughout the day for some sustained energy. So the mindset amongst consumers in the U.S. is very much, it's a good snack to have in the afternoon for a little pick-me-up. Because yes, it has sugar, but it's natural sugar, and it gives you long-lasting good energy. Also, dates with coffee is known around the world to be something that is eaten. So having your coffee with a date, it's the sweet to the bitter. It's a nice way to have it as well. So yes, selling dates year-round is definitely something we would love to be able to help and see happen here as well.
Okay, but how do you, well, for both of you, since of course we are, avid, what do we call it? We love to go to the supermarkets and see, the foods there, what kind of things that we can actually pick up from the shelf. But how interesting is it if probably they have some sort of cooking demo, giving the creativity or showing the creativity of how we actually cook the dates on the location? What do you think?
Yes. So I think demoing dates is wonderful, letting people try it at different times of the year. When you are in the summer and you wouldn't think to eat dates, it's a good time to sample them. But then also, cooking demo.
Especially as mentioned before, that we can actually use it as cooking ingredients and not only as fruit, right?
Exactly. So making a smoothie because it's hot here to have a nice cool drink with. Or I make energy balls with it, mixing nuts and dates to make a ball. It's a great paste as a thickener. And then adding ingredients as well, coconut, whatever it may be as well.
Okay. Hope that can help you a little bit to cook the dates all year round right next month. Okay, thank you very much for the question. And next, are there any other questions from the audience here? Okay, as we wait, there's also another question. There are a few questions to be exact. And this one is from Pierre. Pierre, and the question, I guess, is for both Chef David and Chef Shayna. What are some other cultural or religious holidays that involve food as a central aspect of celebration? Chef David?
I'd say right off the top of my head, I can't think of a holiday that doesn't involve food in some way, either the sort of abstinence from food for a given sort of food or for a given period of time. Like, I think food is inexorably linked with celebration and with community. So religious celebrations of all faiths have that sort of key element. So, fantastic question.
Yes, all celebrations. And Shashena?
Yeah, I would agree with that. To me, the kitchen is the heart of the home, and gathering around the table is one of the most important things you can do with loved ones, friends, family. So I think most celebrations involve food and gathering around the table.
All right, it's a sign of love for everyone, for the whole family.
Exactly.
All right, are there any other questions? Okay, any other? Okay, from up there?
Hello, chefs. How are you? I have a question. My name is Angga. Nice to meet you all. So dates, something that is very common here in Indonesia, and I'm a Muslim myself. I love dates, especially with all of the variety. And I love the demonstration that was presented by Shayna here. So my question is mainly to, sebagai orang yang hobi makan tapi cita-cita kurus, is there a way for us to find inspirations to use the dates as a healthy recipe? Do you have like a cookbook, or do you have something that you can share with us so we can follow up, try it in our home after this event? So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anga, right? Okay, thank you very much. Give a round of applause for Anga. So the question is, for those who loves to eat but wishes to lose weight, can date be one of a choice of food to help maintain a healthy diet?
Yes, certainly. So dates are high in fiber, so great for digestive health, which I think a lot of people need in their diets. And great sources for recipes would be our website, naturaldelights.com. We have a plethora of recipes developed by dietitians from around the world, actually, and videos that you can see to make more if you like to be visual and watch how it's done or read how it's done. We have a lot of resources and recipes on our website.
Okay, so Anga, make sure you get on that website and write down those recipes. Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause. Another one. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. There's a question that is from our online participant. Once more, there's one from Ashraf. And Ashraf proposed a question from YouTube. Hello, Ashraf. And the question is, how important is it to maintain a healthy and balanced diet during Ramadan? Because during Ramadan, we fast for 13, 14 hours. And then how can we keep a balanced and probably healthy diet? Chef Shaina?
Yeah, so fasting for any amount of time, you need to make sure that when you are able to eat, that you're eating food that's going to sustain you, right, and be healthy. So again, I can see why the date is the item that is chosen to break your fast because of its balance in sugars, and it's low in the glycemic index and high in fiber. So I totally understand why a date is picked. But for the rest of the meals that you're able to eat, you want to make sure that you have the energy to go about the day, right? So it's certainly very important to do.
All right. Thank you, Chef Shaina, and thank you as well for Ashraf for the question. And next is also a question from our online participant, Luna, also from YouTube. And the question is for Chef David. How can food bring people from different cultures and backgrounds together during Ramadan and also beyond?
Well, I think one of the most important parts of food is that it doesn't necessarily matter which country you come from. It doesn't matter your religion. If something is delicious and you like it, then that sort of transcends these barriers that sometimes exist between people. And I think this is a great Ramadan and breaking fast is a great example of that. To have people of different faiths and perspectives enjoying something that's delicious, because you don't have to get into theological questions or questions about who you voted for or sport questions, anything like that. You can just enjoy a person as a partner in a meal. I think it's incredibly important.
Okay.
To add to that, I think food can break down barriers, right? If you can try something that's not part of your regular diet, it helps you get to know an aspect into somebody else's world, right? So food has the opportunity to bring us together. And to the question that was asked earlier, why does the U.S. not know about Indonesian food as much? I think there is great opportunity and opportunity to share different cultures.
The perfect way to introduce a culture.
And I'd add one more thing, which is I think when you invite someone into your home or you invite them to share a meal with you, there is an element of vulnerability where you're saying, like, for whatever other things we may be or whatever parts of other communities may be, this is just you and me, and I want to show you my home. I want to show you what I can do. My grandmother's hummus, for example, that it's a personal thing, and you're saying, like, I'm opening myself up to potential criticism, but I trust you as a person to be kind to me. And I think that sort of vulnerability is really important in building new relationships and cementing ones that you already have.
Very beautiful. Thank you very much, Luna, for the question. Please give her applause, everyone, for Luna, for the answers as well. And next, the question is from Valen, and Valen is joining us on Twitter. The question is for Chef Shaina. Since Indonesia is a country with a warm climate, should we keep medjool dates in the fridge, and will it change the taste?
Great question. kitchen. And it is very warm and humid here. I think that's the difference. Where I live, it's very warm as well, but it's dry. And yes, it would be great to store them in the fridge. We sell them in plastic to keep moisture out. That's point of the purpose. But when we ship them from the US, we ship them frozen to preserve the taste and the freshness. So if you buy a large batch of dates, we sell in 5 kg boxes, for instance, I suggest keeping that in the freezer. Freezer. Okay. Take out small quantities, unless you plan on eating them, but take out small quantities to store in the fridge. I have a box of dates on my desk because I eat them every day, but the ones I'm not eating with any, regularity, I will store in my freezer and then in my fridge as well.
How long do you store your dates in the fridge? Just to give, an example, how long you can store in the freezer, how long in the fridge, and how long can we actually set them in room temperature?
So dates could be stored in the freezer for a year. They have a great shelf life, but hopefully you eat them before then. And in the freezer, again, for months at a time. Depending on the humidity, you might want to, again, keep them on your desk for a week, or I don't know. I mean, they'd probably be fine in a plastic container.
And the taste, will it change over the time?
No. So if you keep them frozen, it will not change the taste.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for the question, Valet. And next, the question is again for Chef Shayna, and it is from Mira, joining us from Instagram. Hello, Mira. The question is, how do you encourage young people and teenagers to adapt to a healthy lifestyle? Wow, that's something that we can resonate with.
Yes.
How?
So that is what I wrote my book about. But for kids are so curious, right? And want to learn. So to encourage them to try new foods, I invite them into the kitchen. A lot of times kids are shunned away from the kitchen. Get out, let me do. Let them be part of the process. Let them have a say in what they're trying and what they're making. So safety knives I use for as little as 18 months, where they can start to cut and play with the food, right? I always say, play with your food. It's totally fine. Again, just to try new flavors. The other thing, again, for kids is trying it more than once. Yeah, a kid will try something and, oh, I don't like it. Okay, that's fine. And then we try it again the next day or the next week. And you keep introducing foods so that it becomes just part of normal diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an idea on that. So I remember when I was a kid, my parents, I think they figured this branding thing out really early, because anything that they thought me and my brother and sister wouldn't want to eat, they gave an awesome name to. Like there was one dish I remember specifically, my mom called it pirate stew.
Wow, what's
and
that?
I don't even remember what it was. I think it was beef burgundy, beef bourguignon. And I remember thinking like, oh man, I gotta eat this. This is pirates. Pirates are eating this stuff. And so just that change of perspective, like that's not something I want. I'm into that. And they would call things like pirate stew or like superhero pasta or things like that. And my brother and I were like, this is awesome. I didn't even know that was an option. And that made us more willing to try things, because we were like, well, Superman's probably eating this stuff when he's with his mom or something like that.
Okay, that's an interesting trick for us to actually apply. Probably you guys can also pass on to your other family members. Thank you, Chef Shayna, Chef David. And also thank you for the question. Where was it for? Mira, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mira, for the question. And next, there is also another question for Chef David, and it is from Tamara, joining us again from Instagram. And the question is, how do we swap all the nut ingredients so people with the nut allergy can enjoy the recipe, the hummus recipe?
So the nut element is going to be just the tahini, because that is a sesame paste. I do not personally know what a good substitute would be, but I suspect that there are more enterprising people on the internet who have provided all sorts of sesame tahini options.
Yes, so if you want to take out the sesame, which isn't a nut, it's a seed, but if you want to take that out, you could use Greek yogurt. It's thicker and it does the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Thank you for enlightening us, and thank you as well for proposing your question online. Please give a round of applause, everyone. Okay, since we have a very limited amount of time, that was the last question that we can propose to our chefs today, Chef Shayna and also Chef David. Please give a round of applause, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, and you may now return to your seat. Thank you once again. Oh, I'm sorry. It appears that you can still stay on stage. Thank you. My apologies. All right, everyone. We will continue with our event this afternoon, as you can see here. Next, I would like to invite onto the stage, since we have almost come to the end of our event, to Pak Ray Santella, the Agricultural Counselor, FAS from the U.S. Embassy Jakarta, to please come up onto the stage to give your closing remarks. Everyone, please give your round of applause for Pak Ray Santella.
You want me to be in the front? Okay. Thank you, Ibu Sarah, for the introduction. Selamat siang, good afternoon. I'm the agricultural counselor in the American Embassy, as Ibu Sarah previously said. I'd like to welcome all of you to today's show, and also thank you for participating. Today we were fortunate to have our celebrity chefs, Chef David, with his hummus recipe that he highlighted and said that it's come from his grandmother, and also Chef Shayna for her. Hopefully I can replicate that one day with her tasty stuffed dates. So thank you for your contributions in the recipes. So for those of you that are in attendance today, you will actually have the opportunity to taste these products. So don't go home, because you have a dinner box which you can taste all these great products and the produce that you get from the U.S. later today. And for those of you that have joined us online, you can also taste these great products by visiting the various supermarkets in Indonesia, where you can also taste these great products from the U.S. So with that background, we wouldn't have been able to highlight these products without the contributions of our partners. So today I want to recognize them as well. But I know I'm the last speaker before the Buka Puasa, so I'll try to keep this short. So first, I want to say thank you very much to the U.S. Dry Peas and Lentil Council and Ibu Wanda and her group for contributing the chickpeas that the Chef David used in his hummus recipe. So thank you to Ibu Wanda. And she did want me to recognize that in order for you to certify it's dry peas and lentil from the U.S., look for this label on the package. So secondly, I want to recognize Pot Coffee and also Natural Delights for their contribution of the dates that Chef Shayna used to highlight her stuffed dates. So thanks to the both organizations for contributing the products today in order to make the demonstrations possible. Actually, I want to invite Pot Coffee to the stage to talk about the partnership that U.S. exporters and importers have here in Indonesia, and give an overview of how that partnership is important in terms of bringing products into the market for all of the consumers here in Indonesia to purchase and also taste here. So with that background, let me turn it over to Pot Coffee. But before I do, Pot Coffee represents various types of U.S. agricultural organizations here. In addition to Natural Delights, California Raisins, their organization also represents Washington Apples, Sunkist, Pear Bureau, Food Export, USA Pear. So a whole host of U.S. organizations, agricultural organizations, and without his partnership, we wouldn't be able to provide you the wonderful and high-quality products that you have here in Indonesia. So with that background, please help me in welcoming Pot Coffee.
Selamat sore semuanya. Seperti yang dikatakan Pak Ray, bahwa Anda jangan pulang dulu, karena nanti sudah disediakan dinner box. Oke? Dan dinner box ini adalah ciptaan Chef Stefu dari Amus. Dan yang dahsyat isinya adalah baked apple crumble with majol dates. Oh iya. Kedua, ada 4 di situ. Kedua adalah pulled beef sandwich dengan majol dates in ciabatta. Wah, pokoknya luar biasa. Dan yang ketiga adalah lemper ayam dengan majol dates. Wah. Dan yang terakhir adalah majol dates with cashew nuts and chocolate coated. Seperti yang tadi sudah di demo. Ya. Dan jangan lupa terakhir ya ada ice cream. Ice creamnya dari es gentong. Wah. Dan itu juga adalah dengan majol dates. Jadi Anda pokoknya bisa ngimpi sampai ke surga. Ya. Nah, sebelum saya akhiri, saya cuma mau nanya kepada Anda sekalian, siapa yang tidak kenal dengan produk ini? Hah? Gak ada kan semua? Atau siapa yang belum pernah nyoba enaknya kismis ini? Wah, itu yang sini dah. Kamu turun sini. Gua bagi kismis. Nah, kita kasih kismis. Sebelah sini. Nah, sini turun. Sini turun. Oh, kismis enggak? Nah, ini. Kismis ini kecil-kecil cabai rawit. Ya, karena ya, kalau Anda usianya ini, kismis ini usianya sudah 4.000 tahun. Yang menciptakan adalah orang-orang yang tinggal di Middle East. Antara Mesir dengan Persia. Kismis sendiri dari bahasa Urdu dan Persia. Ya, dan kalau Anda baca dan Anda search di Google, itu banyak sekali literasi kuno yang mengatakan kalau Anda bangun tidur dan makan kismis 21 butir, maka Anda akan sehat walafiat. Luar biasa. 21 butir loh, nggak boleh kurang, nggak boleh lebih. Ya, 21 butir. Itu ada di iya, ada di Google, ada di Google. Jadi kalau Anda Google kismis 21 butir, dia keluar. Ada literasi kunonya. Dan ini adalah superfood. Jadi makanan yang benar-benar luar biasa sekali, mengandung antioksidan dan sangat baik untuk kesehatan perut Anda. Bisa ditaruh di ice cream, di salad, di yogurt, di mana-mana. Ya, jadi ini adalah makanan yang kecil-kecil tapi cabai rawit. Ya, saya begitu saja dan coba karena masih ada 2 lagi. Yang sebelah sini yang belum pernah makan kismis, tuh yang pakai baju biru. Turun. Turun. Yang pakai baju biru, kacamata. Iya, turun sini. Gua kasih kismis. Ini makanan sakti mandraguna. Ya, oke. Dan yang terakhir nih yang gede, ya. Sebelah sini. Kalau lu begini-begini berartinya lu nggak mau. Coba angkat tangan. Nah, tuh. Ya, turun sini. Gue cuma mau bagi-bagi kismis doang. Nggak mau ngapa-ngapain, nggak mau demo, nggak mau apa. Nih, terima kasih. Ya, demikianlah. Selamat menikmati. Ya, semoga dinner box-nya itu benar-benar akan memberikan banyak inspirasi buat Anda sekalian. Terima kasih. Pak Rey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pak Coffee. But don't go off yet. Yeah. So, do you think Pak Coffee does a great job of marketing U.S. products?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, we've known that now for more than 30 years. So Pot Coffee has been representing all these U.S. agriculture companies and bringing these products, example, dates, as well as raisins and pears into this market for more than 30 years. So we're very fortunate for having him, Becca Consulting, as our partner. And in recognition for all of the hard work and all of the accomplishments, it's not an easy job to get U.S. products into this market. Oh, sulit sekali. Yeah, very difficult to get products into this market with all the different regulations. But because we have Pot Coffee, we're able to provide these good, high-quality products for you to enjoy here in Indonesia. So my point, as he's looking at me right now, like, what are you talking about? The reason I'm telling you this is because we want to present Pot Coffee with a plaque recognizing all of the hard work that he's done in the last 30 years.
Thank you.
Pot Coffee, you know, for all the hard work that you, Paleo, Iwo Lili do for U.S. agriculture, thank you very much, sir. Yep. So, again, please, oh, this way? Oh. Give me this. Turn it around. Okay? Yeah, turn around. Yeah. Okay, thank you. No problem. Okay.
Sorry. Sebuah cerita kecil. This is for you. When I started promoting dates kurma, yeah, it takes me 10 years. First time they said number one is the most expensive dates in the world. Kurma mejol kalau Anda pergi ke supermarket paling mahal. Tapi terus orang-orang dari luar negeri mengatakan nggak mungkin Indonesia akan beli kurma mejol. Mahal. Tapi saya bilang apa? Duit itu kagak bohong. Bener nggak? Iya. Coba yang perempuan mau nggak dikasih tas KW 1? Nggak mau kan? Mau yang asli dong? Ya nggak? Betul nggak? Ya kan? Mereka bilang nggak mungkin. Tapi saya bilang duit tidak pernah bohong. Money never lie. You got money, you got price, you got quality. Dan it's proven now you go anywhere to the supermarket, the most sellable dates is Majol dates from Bart Valley. Ya, jadi percayalah kenapa barang-barang Amerika itu sedemikian populer, karena barang-barang Amerika itu quality-nya terjamin. Quality-nya number one.
Well, Coffee, thank you very much and appreciate all the work that you've done for us. So, terima kasih banyak. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this brings my segment to a close. But before we say goodbye, we also want to say thank you very much to Ibu Sarah for moderating today's program. We know that you're very busy, so terima kasih banyak for your help in participating today. So,
Pleasure's all mine. Terima kasih, Pak Rey.
Sama-sama. Okay. So, and of course, thank you to all of you for joining us today. On behalf of the ambassador, as well as my colleagues in the embassy, we hope that you've learned a little bit about U.S. products, or at least inspired you to try some of the recipes that you've heard today from Chef David, as well as Chef Shayna. So go ahead and try these products at home. I think you'll like it. You know, and this is in celebration of our Arab American Heritage Month, as well as celebrating the diverse and rich culture of American food and culture. So again, thank you for joining us. Let's go get our dinner box and selamat makan. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Rey, terima kasih Pak Kavi as well. And thank you for everyone for joining us today. Please give a round of applause for all of you as well, joining us here and also virtually. Thank you, terima kasih sudah bergabung bersama kita di At America. Then, as mentioned before, that was the end of the segment, also the end of the event. Once again, thank you for joining us in Ramadan Delights with us. And hopefully, not only you can learn about the dishes and also about American products, but hopefully that this can also be a great memory of the togetherness, because that is what Ramadan is all about. Once again, please give a round of applause for our celebrity chefs, Chef Shayna and Chef David. Thank you once again for sharing your delicious recipes with us. And last but not least, I also, Sarah Wayne, thank you for joining, for allowing me to become your moderator for today's event. And I guess we will be ending today's event with a photo session together. So once again, please give a round of applause for everyone here, especially for all the audiences and everyone on board. Therefore, next, I would like to invite to take a picture, where we'll be taking a picture on stage. Next, please.